Welcome to the Before You Plan the Magic podcast. I'm Sam.
And I'm MK, and we're two travel agent besties on a mission to help you grow more confidence, creativity, and customer service within your travel business.
Like what you hear? Connect with us on Instagram at The Happiest Things Co. for more. Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody.
Happy Monday.
My countdown is over. My watch tells me that every morning. When Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay. So, happy Monday. I hope everyone has had a fabulous weekend. I have been trapped like an animal in a cage because of the snow. But I did go to the dollar store yesterday, so yeah.
I did go to the dollar store.
I did. I needed glue sticks for our project, so I got them. Ladies, how was your weekend?
Ours was good. We were supposed to get snow, and we got like the lightest dusting. That was so disappointing because I really wanted snow. But my mother-in-law took it as an excuse to make a bunch of giant pots of soup, and they were delicious. And then she sent me home with a bunch of soup. So I am just reveling in the fact that I don't have to cook for an extra day or two because soup.
Love soup.
Yes.
Chrissy? My weekend was okay. Entirely unproductive, which is fine. I just needed it. So a lot of sleeping, which is nice. But
That is nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
We also got snow, but not a ton, which is fine.
And also it sounds like you guys know how to deal with snow.
Yeah.
Whereas-
Again, Boston. So
yeah.
Tennessee doesn't know what to do, especially when you live in the backwoods.
Yeah.
Kayla Carpenter says, Happy Monday to you too. I hope you had a great weekend. So, something to talk about today. I saw all over social media that the marathon happened in Disney World. And MK made a fabulous point this morning.
Yeah, Sam was like, okay, so that's going to take up like 10 seconds to talk about.
Yeah,
I was
because
like,
your
"No,
girl
it's
doesn't know
not."
anything about marathons.
Well, one, I like actually am planning to train for one of the 5Ks next year. That's like one thing my sister really wants to do.
That would be really fun, actually.
Yeah. So, and actually, I think I'm going to start which this is a tangent, but I'm going to start a step bet for our February trip because I want to go sand scooter this time. So, I'm going to like set an actual walking goal. But what I was telling Sam and Christy that this would give us to talk about is all of the things you should check for your clients when helping them pick dates. If they're not like, hey, we want to go the week of spring break, or we want to go the week of like whatever, all the things that you like ideally could be checking to help your clients. And one of the big ones is run Disney events and like thinking about that when you plan their park days and stuff.
And MK, why would that matter?
Well, so Animal Kingdom, like the roads get shut down a lot. So like one, it's going to make the crowds are going to be more expansive because these people, while they have run 26 miles before park open, they still are going to want to come enjoy the parks and they're going to enjoy the resorts too. So it's going to increase prices on parks and resorts, but then it's also going to increase park like crowds. And then the third thing is the road closures. So like you're not going to want to plan an Animal Kingdom day on a marathon day because the roads can get closed, which means they're like bus backups and delays and the whole nine. So the other thing is like you're not going to want to plan a breakfast early at 1900 Park Fair for someone staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge because the road closures could impact that too. So even if it's just a break day, like thinking about how you're planning things so that they're not going to have to worry about that.
And a way that you can do that is where did I put it? Did I go away from that website? If you Google like the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex, you can pull up their website and look at their calendar, and it's going to bring up it's got all of the marathons on there, but it also has soccer camps, dance competitions, and those dance and cheerleading competitions bring huge, huge, huge crowds. The baseball camps also, if you're staying at value, you're gonna notice that there is a baseball camp for teenage boys happening. It gets a little bit crazy, especially in the All-Stars, because we stayed there during a baseball camp.
Well, and you bring up a good point, because a lot of times when you do see sporting competitions, because Wide World of Sports is close to the All-Stars, that's another reason those are going to be super busy, is because they are there for more than just Disney World. They're also there for a competition. So they're staying a lot of times in those All-Star resorts.
That baseball camp looked like spring break, Panama City Beach,
I remember you
1999.
telling us it was like
It was wild.
unhinged
crazy.
experience. Yeah.
There was underwear, there was vomit, there was teenage
Wild
boys
times.
everywhere. So pay attention to those dates when you are booking, if your clients have flexibility.
It's a good opportunity to upsell to those moderate resorts instead.
Too true.
Yeah.
If they can't move their dates, absolutely upsell to a moderate, because oof, the values become a different world.
But also keep in mind that like Coronado Springs is a moderate that's in that same area. So even like think about what you might want to consider, what moderate you're upselling to as well. Or just go ahead and upsell to deluxes. Like,
yeah, just go ahead.
Just make the jump. Like, I think we all are like, oh, well, like, or at least for me, I had a really big complex about selling deluxes at first, because I was like, oh, like, what? But now I'm like, really? I see all the benefits of deluxes. Like, you should stay deluxe if you can make it happen. I would say take a park day out and stay deluxe if you can make that happen, because it's a better, in my personal opinion and my professional opinion, I think it's a better way to allocate your trip. But the other thing you can upsell when like looking at events and stuff is look at those after hours for right now. Like if there's an after hours at Hollywood Studios or Epcot or Magic Kingdom, look at those. And then obviously in like party season, really August through December, look at if there's a Halloween party or a Christmas party, because those can decrease crowd levels. I know we got so much done when we did Hollywood Studios after hours. So, that might be a different upsell, is like, maybe we don't do a park day, but we do Hollywood Studios after hours. All your snacks are included. Take the day and hang out at the resort, sleep in, and then do this at night later, when all those people that are in the
and make sure if your clients have base tickets that you're not sending them to a park that has a party that's going to close at 6 p.m.
Right. Well, that's the other thing, is like, look at all that stuff when you're planning their park days too. Unless they, like, I had a client that looked at the party days herself, and she very much was like, I want to go to Magic Kingdom on party days only. She was like, we don't care about fireworks as a family. We want to go to Magic Kingdom on party days because the crowds are going to be lower, and like the rides are what's most important to us. So lower crowds mean we can do more.
And that's super true, because when I was there by myself on that Thursday before you guys got there, it was a party day at Magic Kingdom, and I had bought Lightning Lane and I didn't even use it because everything was a walk-on basically. And I think Tron was like 40 minutes standby.
Oh, that's not bad.
And Seven Dwarfs was like 30 minutes standby. Like nothing was over an hour, and everything was mostly 15 minutes walk on, 20 minutes, 10, like very, very low waits on that party day.
But can we talk about that for a second? Because like, I think people are like, oh, the only way to get a short line on something like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is to have a Lightning Lane pass for it. And really just like avoid it in the morning. Like wait until, like if you don't care about fireworks, go during fireworks. I always suggest Tron being your last ride of the night. Although that did backfire on me because it like shut down. And then when my family was there, it shut down, and then we had to wait for 40 minutes for it. But, like there are ways to do it without necessarily having to purchase Lightning Lane single passes. It just involves working with someone who can help you strategize.
But also understanding that if you are only doing like one park for one day, you're not going to get everything done. Like, it is not possible to see shows, rides, parades,
Dining reservations.
character meet and greets. Like, it's not possible. We did 2 Christmas parties and we got nowhere close to getting everything done. And we were there when they started and we left when it closed, after it closed. But so letting your client understand that you need to prioritize the things that you want to do because you're probably not going to get everything done.
I'm working on a blog that will go up this Friday about the breakfast buffet options. And that's one thing I point out for Crystal Palace. I was like, it's the only breakfast buffet in Magic Kingdom, but like, be sure to consider if you are interested in doing fireworks, if you're interested in doing parades. And now when you schedule Lightning Lanes, if you have a dining reservation, it won't let you schedule an overlaps. So that's like something to keep in mind too, is really your priorities. If your priorities are rides and shows, that's where like 2 days at Magic Kingdom might be advantageous. And really kind of, I tell people determine their top 5. And then if you like set your expectations as your top 3 to 5, then everything over that feels like a big win and icing on the cake, as opposed to like, oh, we didn't get everything done. But this brings me to this light bulb thought in my head. What do you guys think about people saying like, this is a one and done for us?
I say I've heard that before.
I
But
think
you
it
know
can
what?
be for
It
some
could
people.
be.
Yeah.
My concern when people tell me it's a one and done is that they're going to set unrealistic expectations and come home disappointed, because they won't be like, I feel like you put a lot of pressure on a trip when you say it's one and done.
Oh, absolutely.
And I always tell people when they tell me that, I'm like, I would encourage you to reconsider that and say like, it maybe we won't be able to go back for the next 5-10 years, but I would encourage you to avoid the phrase one and done, because one, you may be not Disney people now and you may fall in love with it and it's like become your vacation destination. I know you had that happen, Sam. But like, it puts a lot of pressure on trips.
I think it also it tends to make your client overspend when they are there on things, on like merch and stuff that maybe they wouldn't necessarily care about, and might regret it when they get home because they're like, well, I'm never going to come back, so I need to buy all the coffee mugs, all the spirit jerseys, all the magnets, whatever. And then they get home and they've got $2,000 worth of merchandise and they're like, oh, well,
where
that wasn't.
again, like that's enough to really start putting away for a whole next trip. Like,
I
and
feel
which
like a lot of people go into it like, I'm doing this one time because like maybe their kids want to or something, and maybe they had a bad experience before. And so understanding why they're saying it's going to be one and done is probably where you should start, and make sure that you give them realistic expectations, and make sure that they are coming into it like with a positive mindset about how their trip's going to go, and not like, I was here in 1987 and I was 4 years old and I had a terrible time. So,
right.
Yeah.
And I think like, even if somebody goes at a different time of year than they've been before, like, we were here for spring break in 2004, and it was so hot and it was so crowded, and that was actually my parents' experience. And when we went back when we were adults here the first time, they were like, we are not doing this more than once, so like, you guys enjoy it while we're here. That was 3 years ago. We've gone back twice since. So like, there's definitely something to be said for you as the agent get to help your clients create the experience they're wanting. But you also have to know how to ask them the questions that will help them get there. Like, be curious throughout the whole process. Okay, you're saying it's one and done. Why is that? Can you tell me more? Like, there's always an opportunity for a question, and that question may help them share some pain points with you that aren't going to necessarily come up when you're like, what are you struggling with about your trip?
Yeah. It's like when you go to therapy and they're like, so how's it going? And I'm like, great. And then you kind of like get into it and you're like, oh, that's not great. That's not great at all.
My therapist every week, I look at her and I'm like, you ask really good questions and I really don't like it. And she's like, who else sitting at your table? And I'm like, I don't know. Okay, whatever.
Well, you guys let us know, what leading questions do you ask your clients and what do you think, you need to look out for when choosing dates for clients that are flexible. Tomorrow, episode 2 comes out of the Before You Plan the Magic podcast, and there's a little freebie in there, so make sure that you check that out and get your freebie, and then we will be back with you guys on Wednesday morning, and we can't wait to talk to you then. So with that, I guess we will be off.
Yeah. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to Before You Plan the Magic, a podcast with a mission to help you grow in confidence, creativity, and customer service within your travel business.
Like what you hear and want to connect on a deeper level? Join us on Instagram at the Happiest Things Collective.